Hey, what's good YouTube? King of the Ville here. Today I'm going to show you guys how to replace and rewire new speakers for your 98 to 01 Trans Am. And it's really simple. I feel like anyone can do this. All you're going to need is a ratchet with an extension and a 7mm socket, diagonal cutters, wire strippers, soldering iron, and your metal alloy, and your speaker. That's all you need. And also I'm going to be installing a 6.5-inch SCAR speaker. Okay, the speaker I'm replacing today is going to be the rear right passenger speaker. So the first thing you're going to do is remove this cover, which I can try to do with one hand. It's pretty simple. If I can do it with one hand, you can do it with two, you know. Almost. All right, our cover is off. So now you're going to grab your ratchet with our extension and our 7mm socket. And you're going to undo these 4 screws. Now that we've unscrewed our screws, we're going to take out the old speaker. You're going to save the screws, by the way. You're not going to get rid of the screws. Now we're going to unclip the old harness from our speaker, and we're going to take that with us and save it. Once you've unclipped the speaker, this is what you'll be left with. So we're going to take this with us. Okay, for this next part, now that we have our speaker, we're going to be using our diagonal cutters and our wire strippers. For our diagonal cutters, we're going to cut the ends of these wires on our old speaker. Now that we have our relay harness, next we're going to split both our negative and our positives from each other so that they're easier to wire up to a new speaker. We're not really worried about these. These are our jumpers. If you guys don't know what those are, it's not really important, but we'll just split them just because. But we're not going to be using these. We'll probably put some electrical tape on these and, you know, put these away. But these are the 2 main wires we're going to be using. Our black and our red, which is our negative, and our positive. So now we're going to strip back 1/2 inch of both our wires. This is 16 gauge stranded wire. So I'm going to use a 16 gauge slot. There we go. About that much. You're going to do the same for your positive. A little finicky. Stranded wire. Oh, it was already stripped, but okay. All right, now that our wires are stripped, let's twist these clockwise so that way they're as straight as can be, like that. Now we grab our speaker, and as you can see on this speaker, it'll show you this terminal is the negative because it has the minus sign, and this terminal is the positive because you see the plus sign. So plus sign's positive, negative sign, or minus sign is the negative. So our black wire goes here, our red wire goes here. All right, so once you push your wires through, you're gonna send them both their separate ways, and they're gonna wrap them around each other around the terminal, and it should look like that when you're done. Now, technically, you could be done and just throw some electrical tape on both of these terminals, but for a more finished look, we're gonna use a soldering iron for this video. All right, so I recommend doing this next part over a stove with a vent. You wanna turn your vent on. So the first thing you wanna do is get your soldering iron plugged in. It'll get hot on its own. You'll know when it's ready. It'll start to steam out from the top. You're gonna get your metal alloy ready as well. I just put the speaker over like a little plastic plate or whatever. And we'll wait till that gets heated up. All right, as you can see, my fan's on right now, the vent. And our soldering iron is nice and ready and smoking at the top, so we're gonna get started. So we grab a good bit of your metal alloy out already, and pretty much just gonna work it not towards the end of the tip, but more like I would say maybe 3/16 of a way past the tip, and you're gonna let the metal alloy melt. You're gonna let the tip of the iron do the work for you, and it's just gonna stick to the copper of our wire and the terminal. It should look like something like that. Just gonna keep going. A few drips, nothing crazy, you know. You want to give it a more finished look, and you want it to stick nice and neat. Okay, a little more. Now, some of you are probably like, you know, why aren't you wearing any gloves? And you definitely do want to wear gloves for this part. I'm just a little experienced in this part, so I'm not too worried about it. That's it. That's all there is to it. Now that we have our relay harness soldered, we're going to take our speaker back to our car. Okay, now we plug our relay harness back to our feed, and we set our speaker in, and we screw it back in with those 4 screws, and that's it. All right, now that it's screwed back in, we just put our cover back on, and we're done. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Thanks, and stay tuned for more. God bless.